What's going on, good people? I am back, y'all. This is episode 6. I've been gone for, not gone, but like I've been under the weather for about a week or two. So I haven't done my videos lately, but y'all, I am back. This is episode 6. Welcome back, y'all, to Center You Podcast. Y'all, I'm so excited to be here. I went to church this morning, not morning, but morning. I went to church this morning, and y'all, if you need a church home in LA, if you are someone like myself who is an artist, or you move out to LA to follow your dreams, pursue your career in acting or music or whatever that is for you, and you need a church home as far as like community and you want to get closer to God, y'all, I recommend you guys to come to my church. I love my church, Deeper Church LA. We have our new facility is downtown, near downtown LA. I'm super excited for it. At some point when I post this video, I will post the address. So if you want to just pop up on a Sunday at 10 a.m. to fellowship with other like-minded people like yourself, y'all, it's a great church. I love Dr. Matt and Dr. Ness. They are great senior leaders, and I thank God for their ministry, and I thank God for just who they are as people, because they are good people. Just not to mention they are from Chicago too, like myself. Yes. So y'all, we're gonna hop right into it. And so typically before I do my videos, I always try to, plan ahead as far as like figure out like what I want to talk about. But then sometimes I want God to kind of like lead me as far as what my episode is gonna be about. And so I had something on my phone that I was gonna talk about, but I changed my mind because I went on ahead and talked to God for a second. And y'all, we're going to talk about trusting our intuition. Trusting our intuition, trusting what we know, trusting what we feel, trusting the thoughts or our inner voice, if you will, that tells us certain things, right? So according to Very Well Mind, intuition is the innate ability to know something without having to consciously think about it. It's often referred to as a gut feeling. I think we all have heard of, or we've heard someone say that, oh, I've got a gut feeling about something, or something doesn't feel right, or so it's often referred to as a gut feeling when you just know something. A study found that people who trust their intuition are more likely to do the morally right thing. While trusting your intuition is not a skill you learn, it is one that you can strengthen. I think that we've all had gut feelings. I know that I've had gut feelings about things, and I even think when you get more spiritually connected with God, I think that you have more questions about people, in things or environments or people in their spirits, or just if you know that something doesn't feel right, then you either have to remove yourself from the situation, or if you know that someone's intentions are not good for you, like you feel it. Like, and I think there have been situations where people will try to make you feel like what you're feeling or thinking is not accurate, or what you're feeling and thinking is a thing of it's not correct. And when you tend to trust your intuition and trust your gut feeling and trust what you're thinking and trust what you feel, right, and then it's not coming out of nowhere, then you need to make sure that you listen to that, right? Because people will make you feel like it's coming out of nowhere, and you be like, and you tend to second guess and be like, damn, is it coming out of nowhere? No. Like I'm hearing this for a reason. I feel this for a reason. I'm not just out of blue conjuring this thought and then it drops into my spirit and now I'm feeling this way, right? So I'm trying to think of an example where I had a gut feeling about, I mean, and this might be on the same wavelength, but kind of different. So I I've never thought about doing stand up, right? That's not a good example. What example can I use? An intuition about something. Oh, I got one. So I have a friend of mine, and I think in LA people tend to use the word friend loosely, and I think sometimes it's easier just to say friend when you're trying to explain the story to someone, or when you're trying to relate it to something. You just say friend because it's easy for you to to say. Um, so I'm not gonna say the person's name. However, we have he and I have been like friends. We've been cool for a while, and there has been this moments where like he'd come back into my life and not be in my life. He'd be cool with me and not cool with me, and all of that, And the last time we hung out, the energy was off. The energy was off. I'm not gonna say his spirit was off because I don't know that, but I'm gonna say that I was picking up on things when I was in his space that didn't feel natural. It didn't feel. It didn't feel right. Like it was. It was like my intuition was telling me like, dog, maybe you don't need to be hanging out with this person anymore. Maybe you hanging out with them in the past, it made sense, but now that you're in a different space in my life, talking about me, that you probably don't need to hang out with him anymore. So like, it was weird because I was feeling I was feeling something. So we about to go out and hang out. I go to his spot and we're hanging out and we're talking and then but I'm still I'm feeling uneasy. I'm feeling like it almost made me feel like I wasn't supposed to be there. You've ever gotten that feeling where you've been out somewhere or you hung out with somebody and it's like you're feeling like you're not supposed to be there? You need to trust that's God letting you know that whoever this individual is and whatever your connection or your relationship with this person, you guys are no longer supposed to be in each other's space. So when he came back into my life and I think he apologized for something and I accepted the apology and we kind of just moved on from it. In my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, we're kind of going to go back to kind of how it used to be. But then when we hung out, it felt different. It felt like I wasn't supposed to be there. And I feel like it was my spirit telling me that this friendship is no longer there. You need to not be around this person because at least from the way that I think about stuff, like sometimes God be closing the door on friendships and closing the door on situations that we need to avoid because we don't know the outcome. God always knows the outcome of situations and things. So when he closes a door on us, it's for our protection. And we don't always see it from that perspective. We just look at it as like, oh my God, like this is a friend that I loved and we hang out, we do this, and God closed the door and we don't understand why, right? God is not a confusing God. So when he does something, it's for the better of us. So we hung out and we went out to like this like bar situation, if you will. And, he was under the influence of some stuff. And he was just saying things to me. I'm literally sitting down, like just kind of like wiping my head, snapping my fingers. And like, he's like saying things to me in my ear. Like, and he was doing it consistently. And I was just like, it was weird. I was just like, and I never even responded to it. It was no response of me. My response was, oh, it's time for me to go. And at that moment, I knew that it was time for me to go. And when we left, I knew that I was no longer supposed to hang out with him ever again. Like, ever again. And I don't know why I was feeling this, but I was feeling this. And I think that's part of our intuition or our gut feeling telling us, like, hey, you need to not be around this person, or you need to not, be in the same space as the individual. You need to remove yourself um, from this situation, because if you don't, it cannot be good for you. Because the thing is, God can see things about an individual that we don't see in the future. So we can't allow ourselves to not trust our intuition, not trust ourselves, not trust our gut feeling, because God gave it to us, right? God gave us that intuition. And as people, and I'm guilty of it as well, we tend to ignore our intuition, which I don't know why we do that. Right? There's a reason why we have that. So, as I'm saying this to all of you guys, I'm saying this to myself as well. Like, let's start trusting ourselves. Let's start trusting what we know. Let's start trusting when we have a feeling about something, or something is not right, something is not adding up. 9 times out of 10, no, excuse it, 10 times out of 10. It's true. Is what we need to listen to, right? Even when it comes down to decision making, even when it comes down to, finding a job, even when it comes down to, in my case, like choosing to accept a role. Like, when something feels good, because when it's of God, it feels good. You get celebrated for it, right? It's a feeling that you can explain to people, because it's what God wants you to do, or it's where God wants you to be. But when you get a different feeling where it don't feel right, it feels uncomfortable, not even uncomfortable, because being uncomfortable can be good for us. But if it's in a space where it just doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel, you don't feel at ease, right? When you don't feel those things, it's God letting you know this is not where you need to be. So let's start trusting our gut feeling, because our gut feeling and our intuition, it never steers us wrong. We don't be obedient to what God is trying to reveal to us or show us. But as you get more closer to God and you have a better relationship with God, those intuitions and those gut feelings, you listen to them because you know it's for the better of you, right? So I just want to say, y'all, I appreciate the people who has tuned in to my podcast. Thank you guys in advance. Thank you guys so much, because this hasn't been easy for me to do, and I knew that I was supposed to do this a long time ago, but because I've been doing this, y'all, it's so therapeutic for me. I always feel like expressing yourself, it's part of therapy, right? Because that's what you would do if you're going to see a therapist. You want to talk about your issues or whatever you're feeling, whatever your thoughts are, so you can get a understanding of it. So I hope that you guys, when you're watching my videos, you're taking something from it. And it either encourages you, or you can pass it along to somebody else who might need to see the video, who might need the encouragement, or who, even in this video of, trusting your intuition and trusting your gut feeling. Trust yourself. We need to start trusting what we know, and don't allow people to make us think and feel otherwise, because they might have a different perspective on what we think, or they might not necessarily agree with what we think and we, as long as you agree with what you think and feel, right? And it makes sense to you, that is what you should trust. And that is what we should trust. So, thank y'all so much for tuning in to episode 6, y'all, of Center You Podcast. Y'all enjoy the rest of your week. I see you next week.